to how successful you've been for that business to still be here or still be helping people that way. And
And it's sort of evolved. Like I'm doing some partnership type stuff where I'm working with organizations that are looking for mentors, volunteer mentors to help with. Like one that's really interesting is that I'm working with U.S. military personnel as they transition from service life to civilian life. And, as part of the mentoring process, of course, we share a lot of stories that different things that have happened. And I've found that to be very rewarding is that, they've had some very traumatic stuff take place in their life and it takes a little bit of work to get them to sort of, as I call it, open up a bit to share, because that's the main thing for them to realize is that you need to talk about what it is, because the only way we're going to continue on the healing journey is we need to have those conversations. And I'll do my best to have them in a safe place, but I that's a two-way street.
absolutely. And I don't think the average person really understands or realizes, maybe unless they've encountered it themselves, how important it is to verbalize what you're feeling in order to be able to process it and to heal from it. Um, I think I learned that myself dealing with my own grief journey, and I had, stumbled upon that because I had written my book and I had then been a guest on various podcasts. And I was super reluctant to even have the conversation, but it was about promoting the book. But the more I spoke with people on the podcasts, the more I healed. And then I learned more information that also helped me heal. And I feel like I got through it faster because of that. But I don't think the average person realizes, I certainly didn't realize that that was going to be the case with me. It was kind of I'm going to call it a happy accident in my case.
Because what I've found is that having the conversations, that's step number one. But actually, doing podcasts, I have found them to be extremely therapeutic because you get to tell that story over and over and over again. And people will ask you various questions and stuff like that, it kind of forces you to come out of that closet, as I call it, and ask for help. And once you're able to do that, then you can move ahead with the healing that needs to take place.
Exactly. I'll say that being on this side of the microphone is even better because then you get to speak with various experts like yourself and you learn more from them. And so that had even helped even more, just talking with various experts and learning little things I could do. And then, of course, my own personal research. But, uh, but yeah, it's an amazing thing. And it's wonderful that you have this mentoring situation and that you're teaching others so that they can then help others process that grief. And I know that with our original conversation, I mean, your backstory, you are definitely qualified to help people deal with grief because you dealt with so much of it yourself successfully. So,
I won't argue, but there's always room for growth.
true.
There's but you're true, but you're absolutely correct is that I went through some traumatic stuff in the police force, and that gave me the post traumatic stress kind of baggage that I had to deal with. And then, of course, as you well know, losing my wife to cancer was probably and still is one of my biggest lifelong challenges. And I didn't think it was going to be that difficult, but it's difficult. That's probably the best way to describe it is that you, every day you wake up and you're thankful that you woke up and can put both feet on the floor, but then there's all this other stuff around you that, you know, different. I had a friend that called me here just earlier this week, I guess it was, and a family member had passed away, and you know, they're you could tell they were reaching. They weren't sure if they should ask or if they should what they should do, and there's just so much of that going on that every time you turn around, somebody has passed away, and you can just see the pain and suffering in their eyes that they're trying to say, I hope there's a shortcut I can take. And you having the experience, you know that that's not the case.